Recently, I made over $6,000 in sales from literally just one customer. It was over 3 orders. It was over 1 day. They made 3 different orders for over $6,000. And I attribute it all to just one thing that I have on my store that other people might not. It may have just been one sale if I didn't do this one thing. So be sure to smash the like button, because in this video, I will explain exactly what that one thing is and the reason why instead of making only like $2,500 in sales, did I make $6,000, I believe I'm looking at it right now, $33.98 in sales. I'll go over the profits, I'll go over everything about the sales, but I also do want to explain the one reason why I believe that I made that much in sales and why that person ordered 3 items as opposed to just coming to my store and only ordering 1 item. So with that being said, before we get into it, if you are interested in learning more about high ticket drop shipping on Shopify, then be sure to check down below, because we came out recently with a free mini course on how to get started. It's over an hour and a half long. It's going to give you pretty much a great game plan on how to get started as a complete beginner in today's day and age. So with that being said, let's go inside of my computer, show you exactly the reason why I made this much in sales from one customer. All right, so here we are inside of my computer. And like I said, I'm gonna show the 3 orders that got me over $6,000 in sales in the same day and from the same person. And then I'm gonna explain why it happened, why I think it happened, and how you can replicate this as well. So you can see the first sale here, and if you do notice, it says the person is the customer, it says 3 orders. So this is proof that this person ordered 3 times. You can also see the day is gonna be the same day across the board. I know a lot of this is blurred out, but I don't wanna give away their information and my information. So yeah, so the first sale right here was $2,326.99. The second sale came about like an hour and something later. That was for $2,499.00. And the third order here was for $1,000, about 30 minutes after that, $1,207.99. So let's go into a little breakdown just after I showed you the 3 orders of the profit of this sale, or these 3 sales. And I moved it, I'm using Monday.com. I like it a little bit better than Google Sheets, a little bit less customizable, but also more just user friendly. So these are the 3 orders. Basically, I accidentally put them out of order, but the first one is right here, the second one, and then the third one. That's the price that I sold it for. The net revenue is the price after the fees are taken out, and then the item cost is what I paid for it. Almost all of my items are shipped with free shipping, and this is basically the profit that we made. So that's $737, and that's not including credit card cash back, which off of $5,100 would probably be another $50, $75-ish dollars. It's about $800 altogether in profit. I wanna say, does this happen regularly? No, this doesn't happen all the time. I'm just being truthful. The reason why this did happen was because of one thing, and one thing in particular. And that one thing, I believe, is that I have a niche store. So they first came and bought this item right here, which is in fact a bundle of sorts. And they got their bundle. And then they went through, and as you can tell, they looked for more items. One thing that's funny about this is I was extremely sick this day. Like, I was dying, I was in bed all day. I don't know what I had. And I was in bed, and I remember making this sale, and then I fell asleep, and I woke up to these 2 more sales. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Who did I sell to? Sold to the same person. And if you realize all of these, well, you can't see it, but all the suppliers are different suppliers, and they came about an hour or so after each other. So basically what the person did is they looked at my store. They then looked through my store. They said, oh, well, I also need this, and I also need this. So then they bought those items. If you have a general store, and I'm gonna show an example of this. If you have a general store, and say you only have like 1 supplier or 2 suppliers for every niche that you have on your store, and it's a general store, you have a bunch of different niches, then maybe you would have, or I would have, if I had a general store, have lost that customer. But since I have a niche store that has a lot of the same items from different suppliers, and they can get this from this supplier and that from this supplier, and they have a lot of options, then it's a more targeted store. It's a more targeted customer, and it's a higher likelihood that they're going to go through and maybe buy something else later. And we've had some issues with this order. One of the orders here, something got lost about, a week or so later in the mail. And, I've been talking with this customer on the phone back and forth. She was like, oh, well, do you think I need anything else? And it's even led to potentially making even more sales or more money from this person down the road. As long as I provide her with great help, she gets all of her items. And I was like, oh, you could probably use this and you could probably use this. And she's like, oh, well, I'll be happy once everything gets figured out to buy those as well if you think that works for me. So not only one, did I make more sales because of it, it also helps that once I'm contacting her later on because of a specific issue that, I'm potentially making even more sales. It could probably be like $650 or maybe even $7,000 altogether from this one customer. So let me give you an example of this actually happening in, real time. So we're going to talk about here a Google search that I just did. We're talking about 3D printers. I don't know if they're good to drop ship or to have a high ticket Shopify store about. I don't really know much about them. I think that they're kind of cool. I have a buddy that works at one of the companies, but that's pretty much all I know. But I do know that they're expensive, so it could be a potential item for a high ticket drop shipping store. So I typed in 3D printers, just a simple search, the most generic terms you could really get. And then I clicked on shopping. I looked around, this is 3D printers, this is the shopping section of it. And I looked around and basically I just clicked on this one because there was a lot of people selling this item. So when I clicked on it, just to get more examples of stores, there are as many as stores through here. We're not gonna talk about the big box stores like Best Buy or whatever, but or like even its own brand. I went through and I picked two. So let's go with this one first, stemfinity.com. I don't know where they are on here. But they're somewhere. They might be on page 2. I know nothing about either of these stores, but if we look, $2,099 and $2,099. And besides the fact that both of these stores don't really look overly great or that great of a store to buy from, if this is your store somehow, I'm sorry. They're not the best looking, either of them. But let's leave that to the side. Let's just put these two in comparison of niched and not niched. So say the person comes to the store and wants to buy the MakerBot Replicator Plus. But say maybe they go, oh, well, that's a little bit too high of a price. I don't know if I want to pay that. So now they're looking around your store. First off, they scroll down, they see related products, and none of the related products are even 3D printers. So they're like, okay, well, the longer that they're on your store and they can't find what they want, the higher likelihood that they're going to leave and not search for something else. So let's just say that they're looking through, they're like, okay, deals, math, arts, engineering. This is an example of a not very niche store. It's kind of niched in like the science field, the STEM field, but besides that, it's really not like a 3D printer niche store. They have one section for 3D printers, so we click it. And at that point, once it loads finally, we'll scroll down, we notice that they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. No, so they have 18 different items here. So yes, and MakerBot, they have one MakerBot. That one's a different MakerBot. They have like, a couple MakerBots. And they got one other brand. Oh, they got Dremel, they got SnapMaker, Ultimaker. So they have like 4 different brands, don't get me wrong. But one thing that they don't have is really any accessories. I didn't see any accessories. I looked a little bit before this video. I didn't see anything. Parts and pieces, different things that you could add on to the order. That's one big thing that a niche store will have. And really, they only seem to have 18 different types. So maybe you wanted something else. Maybe you wanted the cheaper version of the MakerBot or something like that. They might not have it. So at this point, the customer says, I don't really have what I'm looking for. I'm all set. Or they don't really have what I'm looking for. I'm all set. I'm leaving. Now let's look at the example of going to profound3d.com. And this website, maybe it looks a little bit better. It's pretty similar in quality of website. There's obviously a lot of things that could be done to this website to make it better, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the fact that this website is called profound3d.com. I'm assuming they're really all about selling 3D printers and other things like it. So if we scroll down, first off, they have a we also recommend section. They have other 3D printers. And could I have found a better example? Probably. This I think gets the point across. Now they're like, okay, well, oh, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different brands, I believe, maybe more, of 3D printers. They have 3D scanners. They have learning kits. They have other things. They have education, the learning kits, other things like that. They have a blog. I don't know if they have anything on their blog, but if they did, that could help you even more. Maybe the person's confused. They want help. They do have a little bit of a blog. So now they have a good amount of a blog, honestly. They have they have tons of different blog stuff. So there's that. Everything is adding into you being like, okay, well, if I'm really in the market for a 3D printer, then this is what I really do want. They have parts, they have accessories, they have different types of filament, which is gonna be the plastic stuff. I know that much about 3D printers. That's going into the 3D printer to help you print things. There's all sorts of different types of filament. You wanna shop by the material if you want a specific material. Their ability to search things right here is so much better and so much more niche down that maybe the person goes, okay, I want this 3D printer, so they add it to the cart. Now they go, okay, I want a specific type of PLA filament. Now I'm gonna go and find this specific filament, so they're adding it to the cart. Although these aren't as expensive as some of the other items, or maybe like I want 2 different types of 3D printers, so they buy 2. Or maybe I want a 3D printer and a laser cutter. So now they're looking at the laser cutter. Oh, this could be good. So then they add that. And that's what happened with this order on my store that I was talking about. They're all different brands. They're all specific things that are pretty similar, but they're not the same. And it's the reason why the person bought 3 different orders. I have really only high-priced items on my store, or at least the ones that I'm advertising. And from there, it leaves you a higher ability to be able to sell more items right off the bat to somebody. You know, there's a good likelihood that if they're interested in one thing, or if you provide great customer service, then you're the person that they come back to because they know that you have a ton of different things on your website. So what is better, a niche store or a not niche store? I'm not here to say if one is better than the other. There's inherent advantages and disadvantages of either one, but I personally do like niche stores. One, because it's stuff, my store is something that I'm interested in, and you know, that makes it more fun and more interesting. Where if it was a general store and I was selling, I use a lot of examples of like massage chairs, I could care less about that. If somebody asks me a question, I don't really care. Let's be honest, they don't interest me. If they interest you, I'm sorry, but for me, don't interest me. If I was really into 3D printers and that was my thing, then this would feel less like work and more like a hobby where I'm also selling items and helping people learn more about that product, the 3D printers, whatever it is. Personally, I like niche stores, and that's the reason why I believe I sold these 3 orders. Because if the person, say I only had that one brand that the person bought originally, then if they were looking for more, they wouldn't have found it. And then at that point in time, they probably would have left my store and gone elsewhere. So it is what it is. You can take it as you want. You can say, hey, I'd rather more different suppliers and the ability to have tons of different items like a general store, or I want to go more niche and really be hyper-focused on one specific thing. Personally, I like niched, but let me know down below what you prefer. Well, that's about it for this video. If you like this video, be sure to smash the like button, as I said earlier. Subscribe if you haven't already for more Shopify-based videos. I'm gonna be putting a lot more out. We have the free mini course training down below where I do actually show you how to find good niches and see which ones are good niches. If you're interested, check that out. It's in the description and in the pinned comment. If you have any questions, be sure to ask them down below. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one.